When someone asks you what your favorite MMORPG is, you'd probably say World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online, Lost Ark. Why are you playing that? Those are all very popular MMOs. Most people grew up and spent a certain time in their lives growing whilst playing these games. Nowadays, kids have iPads from the second they spawn in, and I was one of them. I remember being pretty young and my mom giving me her iPad 1. Yeah, the very first one. I was doomed from the start. But while I was getting my brain rotted at an early age, I happened to stumble upon a pretty niche MMORPG that forever defined who I am today. You've probably never heard of this game, and I'm pretty confident in that statement. That's probably a good thing though. The game is called Graal Online. Now, for the 5 people who have heard of it, they're probably asking which version. Yeah, there are multiple versions, but I only had access to 2. The version I played was Graal Online Classic and Graal Online Era, the most popular versions, I think. Graal Online Classic was medieval themed with assets literally ripped from Link to the Past. That's why it may look a little familiar. But they changed things up over the years. Graal Online Era was definitely original from what I can tell, but it still had ripped assets, and it was the more modern GTA type theme. And I think it's the more played one nowadays, but in this video I'll just be focusing on Classic because that was the most played when I was into it. Now, you're probably asking, are there classes? What are the races you can play as? Is the main story good? Is there PvP? Well, that's the thing. This isn't really your average MMO. There are no classes. Everyone just uses a sword, bow, and bombs. So everyone's just Link. When it comes to customization, there are 2 things you can change: your head and your body. Starting off, you don't really have a lot of options and people will look at you like you're a lesser human being, but if you want to get better customization, there's a system called uploading, aka mogging. But I'll get into that later, so pretty much you can just be whatever you want, if you have the money of course. As for the story, there isn't much. You just talk to NPCs and they give you small tasks. I'll go over the quests later, but it's nothing insane and they're not the main point of this game at all. The main point of this game is purely customization and socializing. And PvP if you're into that, but it's not that great. The whole game is really just asking for your credit card information because the prices on things are absolutely absurd, and to earn currency normally takes a really long time. For the PvP, it does get quite interesting. Everyone uses the same weapons like mentioned earlier. There are no levels, so it's just off skill, which is kind of cool, I guess. To get a new sword or to improve it, there's this system in the game has, which is kind of like typing in cheat codes, which can change the file of your sword animation as well as shields, which I completely forgot to mention, but they don't do anything, they're just for show. Some sword animations are slow while some are instant. When I played, everyone used the instant one because it just seemed better, but it's purely just up to whichever one you preferred. In every big town, there are buildings called towers. Every tower is usually owned by a guild, and at the top of every tower there's this flag which has a health bar, and if an opposing guild gets it to 0, they now own the tower. It's actually a pretty cool concept and it kept things interesting. Back when I played, the biggest guild was called Soul of Ninjas. Sometimes I'd be in a separate guild trying to take them over, or I'd join them and help them defend. I wasn't really dedicated to any guilds besides one, but I'll get into that later. God, I just keep saying that. I'm sorry, I'm serious. I will actually get into these things later. The tower that Soul of Ninjas used to own is no longer available to take, but I'm 99% sure that they made a memorial for it inside the same building. It has their old logo, so I'm just gonna believe that it is, because I'd log off for almost a year and come back and they'd still be owning the tower. It was rightfully theirs. Okay, so I can't believe I found this, but there's actually an old Graal Online forum and people have actually been talking about Soul of Ninjas, so like I'm not just making this shit up. It says Soul of Ninjas or other guild. So I've been in Soul of Ninjas since 2013, meaning that I only played the game for 5 months before I joined Soul of Ninjas until now. First of all, Soul of Ninjas isn't a hat chaser guild. Oh yeah, hat chaser guilds were just like guilds that I'm pretty sure if you just were like cracked, you would be able to get like your own hat for your guild and your guild members. Anyways, continuing. So that also means that I don't really care about hat. However, in 2015, all the old and original members had left. There was only 2 original, which left me with Dark Farmer Kensei, other than Kate, etc., who isn't related to Kate. Wait, what? Now that the guild is full with new players and people that I don't really know, Sun is no longer the best 2013 guild in my opinion. And I remembered I had lots of fun in 2013 and 2014. Now I don't find towering with Sun fun. I felt like I want to leave the guild. But there's just a force stopping me from doing that, as I had already been in the guild for 2 years. That's a long period of time, and I'm seriously struggling right now. If I were you, which way would you choose? And most importantly, I'm rather afraid that I would be hated from people in Sun if they would think I'm a betrayer and would give me a lot of insult. And looking through the replies, it seems like a lot of people actually don't like this guild, so yeah. Be careful, this decision might haunt you till the grave. Honestly, this person's so real for this, even though by the grammar they're probably a kid, but I was a kid too when I played this, so I understand. This game definitely had a lot of toxic players and admins, believe it or not, but to be honest, I left and joined Soul of Ninjas so many times, I feel like bro is taking it a little too serious, but I do understand where they're coming from. Socialization was pretty much the main part of this game, and as a kid with no social awareness, I was able to talk to pretty much anyone super easily. And I made many memorable friends that I'd see every day I logged on. These people were honestly more dear to me than my real life friends at the time, and that was probably really detrimental to my social skills nowadays, but I don't regret it. I may have no way of contacting them now or will ever be able to see them again, but I still remember all their names and their avatars and all the best times that we had together. I made my first real friend that we'll just call Dave. Me and Dave would go do random stuff around the map, just kill players and just talk about random shit, and eventually Dave made a guild called the Warrior's Path. We were kinda small at first, but I was given the co-leader rank, and I felt like I actually wanted to be dedicated to this guild and make it grow to be one of the biggest. So, over time, we took towers, made a name for ourselves, we even took on Soul of Ninjas, but we could never beat them, obviously. But we did eventually become allies, which was a system the game had where 2 guilds can team up, which I'm pretty sure that's like a normal thing in MMOs. One day, we had a meeting with the Soul of Ninjas leaders at our guild house, and I accidentally killed the leader, and it caused a big commotion, but it was just eventually a good laugh looking back. But then one day, Dave and my other close friends in the guild just stopped logging on, and life happens. You can't blame them, but it's for real, like just looking at your friends list, saying your friend last logged on like 1,000 days ago, like, are they dead? Like, do they hate me? Like, what happened? It sucked, but I did what I always did as an over-extroverted kid, and I just made new friends, but none ever came close. I'd eventually quit throughout the years, and when I'd log on, the leaders of Soul Ninja would always invite me back to the guild, so it felt like I had a home to come back to, which was nice, but I did eventually quit for good because, you know, life happens. Personal stuff aside though, the main ways you could socialize was just by joining guilds or joining random people's conversations, or putting single and ready to mingle in your bio. Yeah, you could get married in this game, and people would roleplay a lot. Sometimes people would pretend to be kids and people would adopt them. Yeah, I personally never delved into that stuff, but hey, it's there, I guess. Another thing people would do is open up access to their house. They'd host parties, have code shops for your shields and swords. You can meet people by going to spar arenas or just outside the town player killing. That's probably not the best way to make friends though. The map is really big and there are lots of interiors and random buildings across the map that also have more interiors within them, so I mean, you could just find some random place no one ever goes to because, you know, they have no reason to be there, and you might also find another person with the same idea and become friends with them. You really just have to be extroverted as hell. I mean, if you looked cool, sometimes people would just add you as a friend or private message you, so I mean, you could just spend money to look cool if you want friends too. Admins. No, not Discord ones, but the ones in this game were just as bad. Thinking back on it, they were probably all kids with an unreasonable amount of power. I'd hear stories and even knew people who would get banned over the littlest things. They did do some cool things though, like if you got hacked or lost your account, somehow they'd just give you an account with double of what you had to make up for it, so I mean that was pretty cool. I don't know how they did that, but yeah. They also held events which were fun, but I didn't really partake in them because I hate losing. You would earn currency, like event currency, and you could buy items or like furniture and stuff like that. There were also certain buildings that were like always closed off and admins would open them up like once a year, if even. It'd be filled with games and new clothes and stuff. It always felt nice finally being able to enter those places. They would usually be filled with limited items that you'd never be able to buy again, so if you got your hand on one, 6 months later, you were cool. Now, for the pricing and the way they get money. Oh boy, it's bad, and I genuinely don't know how I put up with it as a kid, but to be honest, I had no choice. I mean, I kinda did, but I was addicted. As you can see, it's 99 cents for 2,500 growlets, which is like one small item, and to get that amount would probably take like a day or less if you really tried. Okay, $3 for 8,000 growlets, which is a weird amount because you can't get that much, but still enough to get like a couple things. And then $10 for 27,000 growlets. This is the one that everyone would always get, but mainly for one reason. I mentioned it earlier, and it's called uploading. Basically, you could either find websites that have custom-made heads or bodies, or you can make your own, which is what I used to do because I'm cool. 20,000 for a head. Yeah, 20,000 growlets for a custom head. That is why people always spend the $10, but as you can see, it comes with an extra 7,500. Okay, that's cool. Maybe I'll buy a hat or something. Nope. Not if you want a custom body, better be ready to cough up 10,000 growlets. So either you can grind up from that 7,500, which is like hell, and get up to 10,000 with just a custom head on the whole time, or pay an extra $1 for that 2,500. In-game purchases definitely aren't as bad as most games for kids, but it still sucks, and it wouldn't be that bad if it was just easier to get growlets normally. Okay, going over the mount prices, because I forgot to mention that you can ride mounts in this game, but you've probably seen people do it in the background footage. But yeah, mounts are like absurdly expensive. Like back when I played, heads and bodies were like the most valuable thing that you could possibly buy. 20,000, 10,000, that was like the peak. There were probably a couple other things a little above that, but it was never above like 50,000. Anyway, I just want you to look at these mount prices. That is probably like $50 for a mount in Graal Online. Yeah. And then looking at the hat prices, they have always been kind of absurd, but like it's just like what the hell, man? To earn money in this game without like having to spend money, you pretty much just touch grass. Like unironically, like that is the main way to get money in this game. There's like areas that have like fields of grass. Get on your mount, buy a couple bombs, and you just run around and cut grass for hours and hours, and you have a chance of dropping a single Growlet, 5 Growlets, and either 15 or 20 Growlets, and there might be like some extra fucking like rare shit where it's 100 Growlets. Oh my god, guys. But like, yeah, that is pretty much the only way to get money in this game, without spending real life money. There is also a way that you can make money, which is very time consuming. You can grow Growlets in your house, your player home. They'll be like locked, and over time they just like boost in rarity / currency, and yeah, you could just do that and wait even longer. But yeah, it would just be nicer if there was easier ways to make money in this game, like without spending real life money, but unfortunately there's not. Okay, so like I mentioned before, there are quests that you can do in this game, but they aren't really that important. But I don't know, maybe some new ones are. I'll go over them, but most of the time, they would just be good for unlocking a new area or like new shops. The Scarf quest. This is probably considered the main quest because it is the most important / notorious for new players. It will most likely be the first quest that you do, and it's so that you can unlock new areas. There's no quest markers in this game, by the way, so you pretty much have to figure out things by talking to other players or looking it up, which is kind of cool because it creates some conversation for new players. These quests are honestly some Dark Souls level of vagueness. Like first, buy a hamburger, then go to a cave, then explore the cave until you find a secret area with NPCs. Give the burger to the NPC, then the NPC will show up at a different location. Talk to them again to continue said quest. Blah blah blah. You get it. So at the end of this quest, you get a scarf. You can't wear it, but you can use it to unlock a new hat shop. You still have to pay with Growlets to buy the hats. The quests are cool because they kind of give you things to do and talk about with other players, and I'd say the only worthwhile one is one that lets you get access to Snowtown, or maybe you just buy a lantern now, I don't know. It might be different. Regardless, the quests aren't that important and could definitely be better. Graal Online holds a very special place in my heart and childhood. I genuinely don't think that I'll ever be able to forget this game, and it was probably just because I spent most of my developing years playing it and basically living another life. Despite its flaws, this game is probably one of my favorite games of all time, and I don't even play it anymore. I'm hoping some real Graal heads find this video and just let me know if I missed anything important, because I would love to make another video on this game in the future. Oh yeah, one small thing I forgot to mention was Graal tubers. Yes, believe it or not, I used to be one, and I used to know a lot of the big ones. Basically, people would try to become like Graal famous by making a YouTube channel and making it specifically about Graal, and sometimes it would work out for people, sometimes it would not, but yeah, I just thought I should mention that since I'm literally uploading a video about Graal on YouTube, which was like the whole point. But I'm not a Graal tuber, guys. I swear. Those years are past me. Anyways, I want to sincerely thank you for watching. This is the first type of video that I've ever spoken in, so sorry if I sound weird or awkward. I really hope I can just look back at this video one day and just have like a good cringe or laugh. I know most of the jokes will be outdated by then, but that's okay. But yeah, if anyone actually got this far, or even found this video in general, I genuinely appreciate you, and if you have any recommendations or any type of niche game / show / internet lore, please let me know in the comments below, because I love this kind of stuff, and I will probably actually make a video on it, so do please recommend. My whole goal for this channel is just to make laid back, chill videos for anyone to watch when they're eating or just busy or whatever. But yeah. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.